It's actually crazy how I didn't catch it while I was reading it the first time. So I DNF'd this book to start releasing 10, whereas this one was definitely more of like fiction, finding yourself. Lizzie Youngman can never ever make me hate you, sweetie. Like, if this book was like a person, it would be like a try-hard. He was crashing out over a headboard, and it was really just giving me like all the summer vibes. I loved it. Christina Lauren is two people. Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So for today's video, we're going to be talking about all the books that I read in the months of May and June. So I only read 2 books in May because I guess I was like kind of in a slump. I really don't know what was going on. But June, I read 4 books. So we're just gonna do both of them. I had some pretty good reads these past 2 months, and I'm very excited to talk about all these books that I have here with me. So let's just get right into it. Also, if I look sunburnt, it's because I am. And I'm very proud of this nice line we have going on because I don't tan. I'm a ginger. I don't tan, but I do burn. But this is color here. And I haven't gotten color literally all summer so far. So this is very surprising and I'm very happy. Anyway, let's get on to the video. Okay, so starting with May, some statistics we have. I read 2 books, 1 fantasy, 1 romance, and the average star rating was a 4.4. So the first book that I read in May was none other than A Court of Mist and Fury. Asimov was a reread from a few years ago. It was either last year or the year before, but I really wanted to just reread the entire series because this is one of my favorite series in the entire world. And I just really missed this book, and I kind of forgot a lot that happened in this book, so I wanted to like reread it and just relive it. Here are the tabs, which I think I did amazing on. This was like one of the first books that I like actually kind of tabbed, other than releasing 10, but we'll get to her. No words, just anyway. Yeah, I'm very proud of my tabbing for this book. There is so much foreshadowing in this book. It's actually crazy how I didn't catch it while I was reading it the first time. Like, I literally have an entire like tab for foreshadowing, and it's like this light green here. But anyway, I mean, I don't really have much to say about this book. I mean, 5 stars. Like, this book is, anything in this series I think is always going to be a 5 stars, except for A Court of Frost and Starlight, but that's novella, so that's different. But I mean, yeah, like, there's really not much else to say about A Court of Mist and Fury. I'm pretty sure you guys have already seen this book somewhere. The first one is A Court of Thorns and Roses, and it's in the Court of Thorns and Roses series, and I can't really say much about the book considering it's the second in the series. Yeah, so that was A Court of Mist and Fury. If you haven't read the series, you have to. I mean, you had to have seen it somewhere, let's be honest here. So yeah, that was the first book I read in May. Then the second book I read in May was The Bodyguard by Catherine Center, which I wanted to do a video for. I was gonna do like a spring reading vlog, until I realized that The Bodyguard literally took place in like the winter time. But I was looking on TikTok for like spring recommendations like for that video, and I came across The Bodyguard like 4 or 5 times. So I was like, okay, perfect. So I literally started a spring reading vlog, read that book, and then I was like, this isn't spring. So I wound up finishing the book anyway, but I did not wind up finishing that video. I just scrapped it. So that's why there was like a 2-week break in which I did not post. If you were wondering, that was supposed to be my spring reading vlog. It just didn't work out. But that's fine because I did get a pretty good read out of that video. Honestly, The Bodyguard was not expecting to like it as much as I did. Basically, this girl, I forgot the names. Actually, maybe I should learn the names. So the book is following the main character, and her name is Hannah, and her mom's dying wish was for her to like go on vacation and do something. And Hannah is a bodyguard, but she's not like a typical bodyguard. Like, Hannah is like small and, you know, like petite, but her job is like a little bit more complicated than what like you would actually expect of a bodyguard. Basically, she like scopes out a room, she figures out like ways to get her client out of the situation before they're even in a situation. So she gets her client out before anything happens. So she gets this job with like a bigger famous person, and his name is Jack, and that is the male main character in the story. So Jack is home in Texas, and obviously Hannah, being the bodyguard, has to go with him everywhere. So his mom is sick, and he's going like back and forth to his house, to her house, and basically he just needs protection. So they hire Hannah, and everybody knows Jack. He's literally like one of the biggest like actors, I think he was, in like the world basically, so everybody knew him. Jack has like this really weird stalker, and he doesn't want his family to know about the stalker, but the reason that Hannah was hired to be Jack's bodyguard is because of this stalker, and he doesn't want his family to know that he is a bodyguard because he doesn't want his family to know about the stalker situation. So Hannah pretends to be Jack's girlfriend. And I actually didn't know any of this going into the book. I literally went in completely blind, but I was so happy that I did because I didn't realize that it was a fake dating until that part where he was like, we should just date. And I was like, wow, this is gonna be a fake dating. And we all know I love my fake dating. This book was so surprising. When I tell you, I think I was listening to it. I think I did the audiobook for this, and I was listening to it while I was like making breakfast or something one day, and I was like towards the end of the book, and I was listening to it, and something happens. Like there's like the big plot twist happens, and I'm like, what? Towards the end of the book, I was just so confused as to like what was happening because we were having a conversation right before the plot twist, and I was like, what's happening? Like, why is this happening? Like, this is the most ridiculous thing I've ever read. And it was solely just a conversation between two characters. And I was like, this doesn't make any sense. And then it all added up. And I was like, wow. Just wow. And there's one scene in the plot twist that I cannot get out of my head. So whenever I think of this book, I'm always just going to remember that exact scene in my head. And it was a great scene. It was amazing. I'm giving The Bodyguard a 3.75 stars. I really did enjoy it. I mean, there were some things that I found like either cringy or like weird, and I was kind of bored like towards the middle of the book, but like once it started picking up again, I was like, wow, this is really good. And then I was just on the edge of my seat, and then it ended. I absolutely loved the plot twist though. That was something I was not expecting whatsoever, especially out of a romance book. So I'm really glad I read this though, even though it wasn't in a video. But it was definitely a really good read, and I highly suggest you read this book. Also, her writing, I loved it. So that was it for the month of May. I literally read 2 books, but I did DNF 1 book, and it literally took me like a week to get like part way into this book. So I'm going to talk about it, but I'm probably going to talk about it more when I actually finish the book. And that is Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry, which is so sad. I talked about this in my Reading New Releases video. I was 170 pages in. And if you watched my Reading New Releases video, you saw that Releasing 10 literally came out like a few days after I started reading this, and I could not stop staring at Releasing 10, basically is what I'm saying. So I DNF'd this book to start Releasing 10. But it wasn't only that, it was also just like how slow paced this was. It also felt like a different writing than her other books, or at least the books that I read from her. So I read Funny Story and Happy Place, and those were definitely more romance like oriented, whereas this one was definitely more of like fiction, finding yourself, and also like history if you think about it, because of everything that happened to, I forgot her name, Margaret. I knew it was an old person name. So yeah, I mean, I can't really talk about this book very much because I didn't get too far in, but I did DNF it. I do want to finish it at some point, but I was just not feeling it while I was reading it. Okay, so now on to June. In June, I read 4 books. I read 3 romance and 1 dark romance, and my average star rating was a 4. So the first book that I read in June, that I fear I will never stop talking about, that is none other than Releasing 10. This is the 6th book in the Boys of Tommen series. This is Lizzie and Huey's book, and this is their first book. I believe there's gonna be, I think 2 more, Chloe Walsh said. I'm not exactly sure, but I know there's going to be more Lizzie Huey because this ended on a cliffhanger. Basically, this book made me sob, it made me cry, it made me, my heart was broken, I died a little bit on the inside. I'm not even being dramatic. Read this book immediately and you will understand. I can't really say much about this book, just like A Court of Mist and Fury, because it is like the 6th in the series, although it is the first of Lizzie and Huey, so I can like kind of tell you. But basically, Lizzie and Huey were best friends since they were really, really young, and they had a friend group, and it was Lizzie, Huey, Feely, Claire, Gibbsy, and I think that's it. I think it was those 5. And they were all best friends. Oh, my foot's falling asleep. Anyway, that's kind of all I can say about this book. I'm not gonna lie, I can't really say anything else. Lizzie Young, they can never, ever make me hate you, sweetie. Absolutely never. 5 stars, if you couldn't tell. Here were the tabs. I kind of went a little bit crazy. I mean, I definitely could have tabbed more, but like, it's like I already want to reread this. I think I'm gonna actually start rereading the entire Boys of Tommen series again, because I just got my mom to start reading it, and my grandma is already on Redeeming 6. But anyway, so that was that was releasing 10. I could talk about this all day, just know that. Also, I kind of did talk about this a lot in the reading new releases video. So if you want to watch me yap about this book for literal ages, you could go watch that video. The next book I read in June was Summer in the City by Alex Astor. I literally tried to peel the sticker off and look what happened. Are you kidding me? So the main character, her name is Elle, she's at like this club and she runs into this guy and his name is Parker and he's like this billionaire dude, and then they start making out. And he basically assumes that she is a gold digger and just wants him for his money, which is not Elle whatsoever. It's the complete opposite. So she takes offense to that and she holds on to that for literal years, and that is basically her motivation. And she goes back to New York and she runs into this dude, the same guy, Parker, at her apartment building that she's staying at, but she's like apartment sitting. And she's a screenwriter, but she's been in writer's block for months. So Parker agrees to take her on dates throughout the city to inspire her to write more, basically. So he takes her to like the pizza place, he takes her to like this fountain, he takes her to all these places to try and like encourage her and motivate her to write about these places, because that is the screenwrite that she's writing about. I thought this was so unbelievably cute. Like, this book was so cute. I love the New York setting. Like, that's like one of my favorite things ever, is just like a book in New York. I believe this was also fake dating. I'm pretty sure this was fake dating for the press. Yes, it was. They were fake dating for the press, and he buys her like a $5 million or like $50 million, I think it was $5 million necklace. Like, if this book was like a person, it would be like a try hard. Like, I loved the characters, but I feel like he was like written as like a try hard. I don't know, I didn't love it, but it was definitely cute for like a summer read, so I'm rating it a 3 stars. But this was definitely a cute summer book. I think you guys should definitely read this. I feel so tan right now. Is it this lighting? Like, what is happening here? Okay, the next book, I'm so excited to talk about this book. I'm actually so excited. Okay, the next book I read was Lights Out by Nevessa Allen. Now, this book was something else. I don't know what was up with me, but after I finished Summer in the City, I literally said to myself, I was like, I need a dark romance right now. When have I ever said that? It was just like very like different for me, because I think I've read maybe 4 ever, maybe 5. Anyway, I really wanted to pick up a dark romance, and I heard everybody talking about this book constantly. It was this one and God of Malice. I was between these two. I watched a few TikToks before I started it, and everybody was saying that it was absolutely hilarious. So I made a like card of everything, as I do for most. So we have the 2 main characters. We have LOL and Spice. And I'm pretty sure I ran out of all of my LOL tabs because of how absolutely hilarious Josh is. He was crashing out over a headboard. Literally, like, of a bed. Like that. He was crashing out over that. It was absolutely hilarious. There were so many funny moments. The plot twist was crazy. Like, this was such an unexpectedly high star rating. I rated it a 4 stars. Yeah. I love both of the main characters. I feel like Allie is literally such a badass. And Josh, you can't get any better than him. Like, are you kidding me? I literally love him. He is hilarious. He's gorgeous. Hello. Have you seen the fan art of him? Yeah. The plot twist definitely got me. I was not expecting that. At first, it kind of reminded me of Butcher and Blackbird, like, at one point, but then it, like, kind of ended, like, it wasn't anything like it. I want to say 70% in, something happened, and it like changed the complete, like, it literally changed the story completely. Like, I thought it was just gonna be like, oh, dark romance, he's like crazy, psychotic, whatever, and she's like, take me, you know? No, but this was like so different from what I was expecting. This was so good. So much better than I thought it was going to be. I think I already told you, but 4 stars. Amazing. Great. Exactly what I needed. And the last book I read in June, which I literally just finished yesterday, was The Paradise Problem by Christina Lauren. This book was so good. I loved this book. Another completely unexpected, really high star book. So the main character, Anna, basically marries Liam West. His last name's Weston, but everybody calls him West. And basically they married each other in college for like living conditions. So instead of her living like in the dorms or whatever, because he got like a marriage household or something, like he needed somebody to marry, so he married Anna. And like they never talked to each other like whatsoever. She thought after they both left college that they divorced, but apparently they didn't. So they've been married for almost 5 years, and West needs somebody to go on vacation with him to his sister's wedding. But not just anybody, he needs Anna, because he's talked about Anna all of the time to his family, how she's a doctor and going to med school at Stanford, and she dropped out of the medical program and she's in art now. She does art. So, completely different from what the family expects. And just to clarify, his family is like insanely rich. Like they own like a food store and it's like the 6th in the country. So they're like rich. So she basically has to like impress them. And so West is like, hey, I kind of need you to like be my fake girlfriend or fake wife, I guess, right? And go on vacation with me to my sister's wedding in some private island. And she's like, okay, but I want this amount of money. So basically he's paying her to be his fake wife. But it's a good thing that they didn't divorce, because Liam needs to be married for 5 years to somebody he actually loves, according to his, I think, grandpa. So he could get like an inheritance of like, I don't know, $100 million. And he only gets that inheritance if he was married to somebody he actually married for love for 5 years. So now that their 5-year anniversary is coming up for them being married, since they didn't divorce after college, he needs to literally be in love with Anna on this vacation so that nobody figures out that they just married for both of their convenience, and so he actually gets the money. This book was amazing. There were so many like little twists at the end of the book, which was like amazing. Like there was like 3, I think, that I was just not expecting whatsoever. I love Anna so much. She is absolutely hilarious. She is like, I think, one of my new favorite like female main characters. And also, I didn't even realize this. If you guys saw my summer TBR video, you would see that I literally like didn't even realize that this was like here. But like, are you kidding me? Like, that's like perfect. This was an amazing like summer romance book because it took place mostly on like the private island. So you got like them going to the beach and them having like an outside dinner. You got the whole wedding. It was so cute, and it was really just giving me like all the summer vibes. I loved it. Also, did not know this, but Christina Lauren is 2 people. It's Christina Hobbs and Lauren Billings, and they put their names together to make Christina Lauren. I didn't know that. I literally read Love in Other Words and this and didn't even realize until like halfway through this book that this was 2 people. So if you haven't picked this up, you definitely should. And I forgot if I rated it, but I'm giving it a 4 stars. Maybe I'll bump it up a little bit. I think for now I'm giving it 4. But I think we'll see as we go on. So that is going to be the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that fun YouTube stuff. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.